YKTR Sports Nation, welcome back to the greatest sports podcast this side of Mars. Joined as always by Skipper Scope, Vintage Jackson or Producer Jackson
and
behind
Desi.
And Desi, Cheese, all the boys. Got Mello in the studio as well. Guys, we are brought to you in the BSC, the Body Science Content Studio. As always, if you guys want to get yourself some products, go check them out. Best products in the land. Best supplements in the land.
The land!
How you going, Skip? Looking good in that purple.
Good, yeah. You know, Noosh likes me in the purple, so that's a nice touch.
It does look good on you, Scope. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm the Oompa Loompas. Are they purple? The Oompa Loompas? No, they're, what are they?
They're like an orange, like
Orange.
a Donald Trump orange.
They wear like purple overalls though or something like that?
They do, Skip.
Yeah.
Nah, maybe Willy Wonka's just in the purple. Who knows?
Anyway.
All right, guys, we are dropping some merch tomorrow. We've got the Mellow hoodies dropping along with the varsity. It's going to be live from 10 a.m. Thursday. Make sure you don't miss out. If you support YKTR, if you support the brand, get around the merch. Wrap yourself up. Get something warm. Look fucking doozy. And yeah, we're on. Jacko, let's roll.
All right, we'll rip straight into some Origin review stuff because obviously there's a million storylines to get out of Sunday's game. We'll start with Nath. Scope, we may as well start with you. Just your reaction, I suppose, to the Blues thumping of your mighty Maroons and Nathan's performance in particular.
Yeah, we caught it, didn't we, boys? That's called foresight too, by the way, Jacko.
What
It's a bad week to be a Maroon. I seen it building straight away. We talked about it a little bit on the sports show a couple of weeks ago where I just thought he made a conscious effort in the Knights game to really fucking be aggressive. He didn't want to come off the field in that game. It really flowed on to the week before Origin and then obviously into the Origin performance. Sort of just knew it was going to be I knew they were going to bounce back. I didn't know they were going to bounce back in this fashion. I didn't even think they were going to bounce back in this fashion at the start of the game because they did look a bit clunky. I thought Queensland in particular were defending them relatively easy in the first half. Obviously, the Kaufusi sin binning threw a bit of a spanner in the works. But one little play that I liked, and I spoke about it, I was doing the stream with the Hello Sports boys in Kempy, the try to Matty Burton. I thought that, in particular from Nath, what it did was, if you sort of watched the first Origin, a way that Ches and Munster on both sides of the field shut down that really nice play that Penrith liked to run with Isaiah Yeo, flicking it out to Cleary, and then finding some joy on the edges. What they were doing was they were cutting that down nice and early.
Yep.
So I think, obviously, Nath done his homework on game one. What he did was he stepped back into the inside, rolled that little kick in, and worst case scenario, they pick the ball up a metre out from their line. But what it does is it just gets Ches second guessing himself on that, whether he's going to come out, whether he's going to shoot. Same thing for Munster. Munster will probably do it the whole game anyway because he'll just sort of keep at it. But they got the best possible result. Matty Burton comes swooping in, picks it up, goes over for the first try. I just thought that was a really crucial play in the first half in particular. But apart from that, I thought apart from that play, Queensland were defending relatively easy. Yeah, they held down a fair bit before it led to Kaufusi going for 10 in the bin. But then after that, I thought they defended so well for that 10 minutes. Obviously, there's the try to Brian Toto before halftime, but they come out, they had really good energy. And then once they'd got Felice Kaufusi back on the field, and it's what Billy spoke about in the press after, I think they lost concentration. I think they thought because they were doing it pretty well in the first half that they were just going to get back into it when Felice come back onto the field, and they lost that urgency that they were defending with while he was in the bin. And I thought those were just a few pivotal moments in the game for me. And then obviously it blows out. But what was your?
I think we have a tendency to put the past up on a pedestal, and we look at that Joey Johns game in 2005, game 2, and he rocks back and he puts on that clinic. And I watch the highlights of that all the time, the 40-20s, the setting up tries to Badarius, all that sort of stuff. For me, that was Nathan's game exactly like that. And I know we're a little bit older and we don't seem to give the credit that current players deserve, but fuck, he deserves every single bit of it. He faced criticism. He's been on a great run for the past 18 months, and there's always sort of been that thing around him like, can he perform at the Origin level? I feel like he's always been a really solid player, but he took himself from fucking here to here. And I'll put him in the same category as Munster in this big game. I know you still got to get it. This one coming up is a decider. The Prez versus the Prince up at Suncorp Stadium. It doesn't literally get anything better than that. We hope for a decider rolling into Origin, and now we've got it. And we've got the two best halves going at it, and it's going to be fucking fun.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it.
Do you know what the good thing about this is? both the players are in their prime right now. So when Joey was in his prime, JT and that was still coming through. That next little period when it was Smith, JT, or those sort of boys, those boys are way too good for the guys on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a pretty fucking even affair now.
Yeah.
Prez versus Prince is going to be fucking elite.
Yeah, it's unreal. Well, I seen they had just before, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks out from Origin 1, they had Cam Smith, Joey, and Thurston on talking about their respective areas and what it would be like. And there was so much respect between the two, but Joey was like, I would have loved the chance to go on against you guys to just see what he goes, I'd like to think I could make a difference. They agreed. They didn't believe that they'd probably win 8, but we'll never know.
We'll never know.
And the perfect thing is we get to see, like you said, probably Munster's got a few more runs on the board at this stage of his career because he's come through the back end of the big 3 that were also part of Origin.
But that's more an age gap difference.
But Naif's got time.
Yeah, Naif's got time.
It's going to be a good little battle. Really excited for Origin 3. It shapes up nicely. I thought some performances in particular. Obviously, I did the TikTok talking about the wingers and how good they were. I think the wingers for both teams were the difference. Murray and Sell and Cobbo would have liked that game back. They're still young. They've got massive futures in not only the game but Origin. But Toops and Brian Toto were unreal. With Teddy at the back, just getting there, I just felt like New South Wales were attacking the whole time. In particular in the second half, once they started to get their rhythm, they started piling on the points. It just felt like they were always on the right side of the half. And Jakey and Uppy Carousel,
Huge.
They just really set the tone defensively. I wrote down some stats yesterday for the people that were knocking me about Jakey not being selected. He still had 0 offloads. He still had
decent meters though.
What were the line break assists, line breaks? He had really good meters and post-contact meters, which is post-contact meters is probably a little bit higher than normal. But that's not why you pick Jakey. You pick Jakey for the way that he set the game up in the first 10 minutes when he was even some of those chops that you don't realise, they don't look like much. Well, to some, they don't look like much. But when he just comes flying out, when you're trying to get a little bit of late footwork or he's coming at you from marker and he's chopping at your legs, oh, fuck, they're awful. And then again, when you look at a guy like Uppy, he's probably seen more, probably more as the flamboyant out of the two between him and Cookie. But what he does at Penrith, and he does it really well, he stiffens up the middle. So you got guys like Isaiah Yeo, who he plays with at New South Wales level as well. You got some other guys. Fisher Harris, he can bang you, but he likes to catch what they do at Panthers. They catch and they drag you back, and Uppy just comes in underneath and really rips in. So what it did was I felt like it really freed Cookie up to not be thinking about playing 80 minutes and reserving his energy and knowing that he's going to have to make 50 tackles. By the time Cookie come on, he just looked really comfortable. Obviously, the bench was completely different from how it played out in game 1. And, I think those two guys in particular set the tone for the forward pack and the performance.
I don't think there's anyone that's ever been as good as Uppy as fixing up a marker. And a lot of defense, especially in Origin, is marker defense, like kick pressures, putting pressure from the inside. The hard thing about putting pressure from the inside is like it forces you in towards the D-line. So if you're getting pressure from there, you kind of veer off and it makes an easier tackle for a lot of people, especially if you're coming at the legs, which Ivan coaches a lot. Like our markers go in. So he has the ability to fix up markers, which gets your big guys one-on-one and get your bumpers up and you find your front and you just sort of gather momentum from there as well. So, shout out to Uppy.
And just in the halves, it's the same as hooker ice. We've talked about it before with the subtle difference between why we liked Ben Hunt at the Dragons over Cam McInnes, right? Cam McInnes is a fucking top-shelf hooker, but when you've got a hooker like Uppy Carousel, like Ben Hunt, that can really engage and use their deception to pull it up, obviously we think of Cameron Smith, he's the GOAT. But when you've got a guy that can genuinely do it, then you get guys actually running 100 because you know they're not going to put you in a bad position. They're not going to throw your hospital ball into a fucking a ruck that's got the biggest players on the field on there. So just those little differences, they're massive. And then, like I said, really freed it up for Cookie to come on in the second half and do his best work.
Yeah, shout out Nath, bro. That was a fucking clinic.
Yeah.
On the highest stage, when your back's against the wall, the state's behind you, state's riding you off, to be fair. Fuck, you turned up and put on a clinic, bro. So shout out to him. Big time player.
They like playing in Perth, the boys.
I thought it was funny, Skip, like just on the hookers before you move off them, neither one really ran at all. I think Cookie had one run, Uppy might have had two.
Yeah.
But you kind of think of them as running hookers, but we're still talking about how good they played. I think maybe that's something that you boys pick up on that maybe common fans don't, because when I think of Damien Cook having a good game, I assume he's ran for 200 odd fucking meters. But I think maybe it's, speaking to what you said, Ice, maybe it's just Appy's subtlety around only half that.
You know they talk about UFC and stuff and like or boxing, like you have to be a purist to understand it. I think once you're played against Appy or played with him, you understand how good he is, and it's the things you wouldn't even notice. But one thing when you watch Appy play, like if you watch him from a bird's eye view, from like a drone, like it's fucking mad because the flow of the team just works like a little bit better, and you can see it in the game, but you can only see it live. You can't really see it on TV. So if you look at the Panthers, it feels like they're always playing on the front foot, and they are, and he's a big part of that. The way he fixes them up, they just seem to flow and flow and flow. Roll Nathan Cleary's kicking game on the back of that, and fucking a very tough defensive side. That's why the Panthers are so good.
Speaking of kicking game, Skip, Matty Burton went all right as well on debut.
Quiet one.
He launched a few into the fucking stratosphere, but overall everyone thinks Matty Burton's probably locked down that centre spot. But what did you make of his performance?
Okay, before we get back to the show, let's hear from our friends, Steady Freddy. On this show, we speak about champions a lot and try to pick who comes first. But in the bedroom, champions don't come first. Steady Freddy is a doctor-formulated delay spray that helps guys last longer in bed, and it has been a godsend for the Skip. Look, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. PE happens to 1 in 3 guys, so that's me, either Jacko or Ice. Take your game to the next level. Steady Freddy is here to help you go the extra distance and do your best work late like the Skip. They've also released a multivitamin specifically for male sexual health called Ball Boost, baby. Get 15% off with the code YKTR15 for a better fucking world. Steady Freddy, baby. Baby, even. Help yourself. Yeah, really solid. Just like at the start of the game when there's a lot of pressure on, I even, again, going back to the stream where he put in, he obviously scooped, that's obviously a massive play, scooping in on that try, on the run, not stopping momentum. He's fucking so good. So it's an underrated part of his game, really. But just the nice hands to Toto. Gets it out relatively in front. It's just sort of on his shoulder, but it was still gave him plenty of room to get over in the corner. But just the havoc that he caused on another play where it was, like I said, because they were a bit clunky to begin with, like, they struggled. There were a couple of times where the ball either went behind, which is at that level, it's got to be perfect. You know, if you're going to score those tries in the corner, they've got to be out in front a majority of the time. But there are a couple that hit the deck. And there was one that he scooped up just off a broken play, come off his left foot, ended up getting tackled around just outside the left-hand side post, which is on his side, and then it just creates a quick play of the ball. And what that does is it puts stress on the defensive line. As soon as he comes back off, and it's a one-man tackle, 10 out. I'm not saying exactly that it led to the 10 in the bin, but what that does is it led to a 6 again, eventually a little bit later in the set, and then there's another one, and then Felice Kafusi's 10 in the bin. So just little things like that I noticed, and he just looks like he was really comfortable at that level.
Looked easy.
Yeah.
And the good players make like things look easy. Good players always seem to have time. I'm sure it wasn't easy for him, and I see him spewing up after the game, which was pretty crazy.
I think that was, he tried to go beer for beer with Jakey. Did you see Jakey walk straight in the shed? So as soon as he got off, Teddy handed him a beer and he just fucking necked it. Yeah. And he did the same thing to Birdo, and he tried to neck it as well and came straight up.
Yeah. No, I wrote.
He mustn't be a drinker if he's getting out drunk by Jakey.
I think it was just, I wrote it on Racey's comments. I think it was just remembering that he wasn't picked for Origin 1 and it fucking made him sick. But he looks like he's set. He looks like he could hold down that left edge spot. The elephant in the room is Trell Mitt is playing his first game this week. He has to be in the team. Looks like Stephen Crichton could be the unlucky one for sure. He didn't play. There was nothing that, he didn't do anything relatively wrong. But when you look at the rest of the back line, Latrell Mitchell, probably outside of Teddy, would be the second pick, I believe, if he's fit. He has a good game, which I expect him to do. And just off the back of what he did last year in the Origin series, I feel like Latrell straight back in. So therefore, I think Crichton misses out.
You pair him up with Tupou again as well. Like they've played plenty of football together, and I know potentially it's going to be on the other side of the field. But man, you get two really good and bit of height. It doesn't matter, honestly. Like, if you get Crichton, Widens are in their conversation as well, if they're going to be talking about loyalty, and then Trell Mint's back in there, it's like you got 3 glamours, you're going home with someone and it's going to be decent anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter.
I reckon you leave Matty Burton on the left because he's got that left foot kick. They can still do that 2 pass to him. Put Trout at the back on the right-hand side because he's played fullback as well. So he's comfortable sweeping either side of the footy anyway.
Agree.
And then, like you said, it's got a Roosters connection with Toops. They go back, so that'll make things relatively easier for them in camp, getting to know each other. Because little things like mannerisms and all that stuff matter. So leaving
familiar
Burton with
voice.
Yeah, familiar, yeah. So leaving Burton with Toto and Latrell with Toops makes so much sense. And I think that'll be almost automatic.
I was going to roll straight into potential changes before we get to Queensland, but the other one you mentioned, Ice, was Jack White. Does he come back into that 14 spot, or are you happy with leaving the hookers how they are?
Leave as is. I think that's the formula that's working right now in today's game. In Origin, we've seen it in the first game when Harry Grant got it. I think he still deserves to be in the squad somewhere, but sometimes you just can't. There's too many good players in New South Wales at the moment, and they all can't fit into 17. And the unlucky part is he just got COVID. It wasn't out of form, or so. I don't know.
He would have stayed. I dare say he would have
stayed. If that was
Queensland
put him back in because loyalty, and that's how they build their teams. But New South Wales work a little bit differently and probably got a bit more personnel to roll with. So it's just one of those.
I reckon
things.
they bring him back in. I reckon Talakai again didn't do anything wrong, and he played the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I reckon he comes in for Talakai because he can cover back row.
Easily.
Like we said in the game 1, he can cover front row if you ask him to do it. So I think those will be the 2 changes. Crichton. Latrell will come in for Crichton, and this sucks for them. 44-12 for those boys, Stephen Crichton and Talakai, and unfortunately I think they'll miss out because you've got to have Jack Whiten in there for me. He was the best player for them in a losing side in game 1, and he's proven it before in the past, and he can play multiple positions.
Yeah,
so
he can cover the
chuck
6.
Jack Whiten back in there, chuck Latrell back in there, and that's very scary for Queensland.
And then, like, say if Jerome Luai goes down, you just flip the coins. He goes to half. Burton might go to 6, and then he might go to centre, or the other way around. And like Scope said,
got
he
so many more options, man.
Can cover any position at a click, more than Talakai.
All right, let's roll on to Queensland. Scope, sort of 2-part question. I suppose what went wrong for them, and then cast your eye forward, and any potential changes you think they will make.
Yeah, I just sort of echoing what I listened to. I listened back yesterday to the press conference with Ches and Billy Slater, and I thought they pretty much nailed it. Like at the end of the day, same as we talked about with New South Wales, the scores the big difference, obviously. But again, it's 1-1. They just lost concentration. They relaxed for me. People have asked me my thoughts on does it play a massive part for the conditioning and fatigue wise, them coming back having to defend with 12 for that amount of time. I just think they got comfortable. I thought they were travelling, and once they got Felice back, they were just going to roll back into it, and it just doesn't happen. New South Wales got all the momentum. They were feeling themselves, and then it was just a trickle effect. Couple of big plays, man. Like we said, 2 young guys, Selwyn Cobbo and Taulagi putting down those bombs. Even another one that sort of dropped behind Murray. I think it was maybe off Burton, but he got back, ended up getting it a metre out from his line. Those are big plays, man, at that level. You've got to take those. I think looking ahead, if there was a change to be made, I think Murray might be the guy that misses out. I think they, in a big game like this, and for the form that he's in, alongside Selwyn Cobbo, I think Corey Oates could be the pick for him.
Not Kyle Felt?
No, not Kyle Felt. Now, I think Hamiso would be closer than Corey Oates because he was in camp as well. So those guys have been thereabouts.
You'd say Felt. Hammer will be closer than Felt, not Corey Oates.
Yeah, no, I'd say I dare say they're going to go with Corey Oates. Maybe their second pick or a guy that would be in contention would be Hamiso.
Yeah, right.
And then third would be Felt because he's missed a bit of footy as well, Kyle Felt. So
just come up against a better side on the night, and that's just sports. And there's such a magnifying glass when it comes to Origin. But I think if you put that New South Wales team against the Queensland side that played in the first game, I think that New South Wales side just wins as well. So they're probably more talented. Like when we looked at the first game, we looked at the Queensland side, and we both agreed that structurally the way their team was structured from 1 to 17, it just had a bit of flow about it. And we feel like Freddie was being too vibey with that. I think he sort of nailed the selections, and Queensland are going to be up against it. Even though they're rolling up to Suncorp and we love all those sort of narratives and stuff like that, they just rolled up against a better side, a more talented side, and a talented side that played to their potential. And there's a difference there.
All right, well, we will get more Origin preview stuff with Mace in the coming weeks. Skip.
Yep, Mace is back for the preview. And then we've got a controversial stat line that we have to address.
He's denying it, isn't he?
Well, there are different. So it depends on where you take your meterage from. Apparently, one has got our boy Paddy Tough Carrigan at 104, but then there's another one at 98. So I don't know. We're
What's the medium?
You let us know in the comments. It caused.
They said that about Joey Manu's game as well. Like they said, he's about 300 meters. It's like 100 meters off. He was like 404.
Yeah.
So it was weird.
So
it was weird.
I'm not too sure how all that works.
That does segue nicely there, Isaac, into a bit of an international review. And we'll start with the Kiwis getting their job done over Tonga and your boy, Toke's finest.
Yep.
Joey Manu.
Better than me at the moment.
Damn near running for 400 meters and pretty much proven what Scope and I was sort of yarning about over the weekend, that if he ain't top 5 fullback, he might be fucking even higher than that. What'd you make of the Kiwis' performance overall?
Loved it.
And then
Loved
Joey
it.
Manu.
Yeah, like there's a lot of chat around international football, and I feel like Kiwis are the side that kind of gets forgotten about. And then when you're in New Zealand, like we talk about the All Blacks, but in my mind, that's the best Kiwi side we've put together in a while.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it, they're all in form.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. So rolling into World Cup, yeah. Last time they went to the World Cup in 2013, it was a year after the Roosters won the comp, and they had Sonny Bill and Frank. I think this time this team might have a better chemistry than that.
Was that the last World Cup?
13.
Was it?
Oh, no. Sorry, there's one in 16, 17.
17.
That's right. We got pumped as well because the Tonga one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was that one. Yeah.
But I remember looking at that Kiwi side because we played them in a warm-up game and I was
Yep.
like, fuck, there's never going to be a better Kiwi side than this. But apparently the chemistry within the camp was off in there. So when I look at this Kiwi side now, even though they've got fucking star players in there, like none of them are like trying to be above anyone else.
Yeah.
So I love the spine. If they can stay healthy, I think they're a genuine shot at the World Cup. Depending on how well they travel and stuff like that. Obviously, there's a lot of variables going into World Cup, but I loved everything about it. For Joey's game was great. We sort of highlighted, we thought Jerome Hughes was going to be the difference. He ended up scoring the first try.
Yep.
But the hard thing about Tonga is, and most of the islands, we don't really have, there's not too many halves floating about in the island nations. Like there's a glaring weakness across most of these nations. Like we've got good centers and forwards and back rowers and fullbacks and shit like that. This is like a half shortage over in the Pacific Islands.
Yeah, and they're starting to come through the grades. Guys like Talatai Amone are coming through, but they're still
might be
young.
The one, bro. Finu, the young
Latu
one.
Finu.
Latu Finu.
Yeah.
If he comes through.
Yeah, there's big raps on him and out at Manly. So that'd be a nice little combination for them for the future. I'm not too worried about Tonga as well. I was really impressed with the Kiwis' performance. And we spoke again, once again, foresight, Jacko. I predicted that not only the Kiwis team being in form across on paper, the fact that they've played for the New Zealand Maldives together for the last 2 or 3 years while there's been no international footy. Joseph Manu's played in that, Peter Hiku's played in that, Jordan Rapin has played in that, Jerome Hughes has played in that, the Bromwich brothers, Fisher Harris, Brendan Smith. So I think that was the difference. Tonga, they just haven't played much footy together as a country for the last 2 or 3 years. So I think they're going to be a team that'll really build into the World Cup.
Yeah, I think they do.
So I think they'll get better by the end of it. So if you're a Tongan fan or of Tongan descent, don't get too down on your boys. I think they'll by the time World Cup comes around, they'll get a few more weeks in camp together and they'll build into a World Cup. So, but yeah, really impressive. Like you said, Joey Manu, unbelievable, 400 metres, fuck me.
Hey, question, a bit off topic. Do you reckon, like, I'm looking at fullbacks now, like, Teddy's the best. On his day, Tommy and Latrell can do their things, but is that build sustainable to play fullback when you've got your Tommies and your Latrells? And then you flip to the other side of that, you look at someone like a Ryan Pappenhausen. Is he too, like...
KP gets his head knocked.
Gets his head knocked. So I'm looking at ideal builds. I'm looking Tedesco. I'm looking Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. And maybe Joey's the guy who's kind of in around that. He'd probably have to drop maybe 2-3 kicks to play that consistently over a long period of time because you're covering a lot more Ks from fullback. Is that the ideal for the modern day fullback build?
It's a nice build if you can fucking...
Obviously, it's hard to get there.
I think the makeup of your team helps as well. So when you look at a guy like Dylan Edwards and Pappy who've got like...
They suit that system.
They suit that because what happens is when you've got a team that's generally on the front foot and you've got a really good pack... rely on those guys. Dylan Edwards, he's the one guy out of the Penrith who didn't play in international footy over the weekend out of the starting 17.
Who?
Dylan Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
The only
He's a gun.
team, 1 to 17, right? Yeah. He's a gun. But he's got one job, or not one job, but his defensively he sets a team up really well and he's got really good chat and he's fit as fuck, so that's important. But he just gets the ball and basically getting it and carrying it back and just trying to rack up those meters. So I think it's just... I don't think you'll necessarily see younger, smaller guys completely ruled out of that position, but it's a nice luxury to have guys like Latrell, Joey, Turbo or Fit Turbo. And just a point on Jerome Hughes, I wrote this down as I was watching it. And it's a fairly big take, but I'm not saying he's there now, but the way that he's trending for a guy that's sort of a late bloomer at the position.
Is he the Cooper Cronk of Kiwis?
He could be, man.
Yeah.
That's a good take. I didn't even think of that. So he could fuck around and become one of our best sevens of all time. If not, he'd be close to top. So when you think, like for me, the guys that stand out, Stacey Jones, I'm a little bit older. Dad played with Stacey. I grew up watching Stacey Jones. You played with Stacey. Stacey's still my number one. And then you got guys
Isn't that
like...
weird that your dad and me have played with Stacey? That's making me feel old.
Yeah. Stacey was a pup when we were coming through when the dad was at the end of his career. But I love Stacey. Stacey's my guy. And then you obviously got Benji, SJ in terms of halves. Fozzie probably hasn't had the success with the Kiwis that he had at club level. And been a bit banged up over the years. But, man, if Jerome trends the way I believe he is, re-signed at Melbourne for the next 3 years, a part of that system, a part of a young core spine that's coming through at the Kiwis, and Joey Manu, like whether Joey plays fullback or centres, he's still going to be in the team coming through. Dill Brown's fucking 22 or 23.
I think he's 21.
Is he?
Yeah,
21? Fuck me, even better. Cheese is going to grow with Hughesy. Man, that's it's probably one of our nicest spots.
22.
Yeah, our nicest spine for sure.
Dill Brown kicking on 22.
But it was good to see we mentioned him, our little mate Fozzie, come off the pine and play hooker. He's throwing his rig about, making a few
Nothing worse when you're a half and you get thrown into the nine.
Yeah, it's when you're fucking 32 as well.
Yeah,
but
you do it for the black jersey, but still low key at coffee you'll go, not up for this.
Fuck, I'm so happy for him to come back and be a part of that. He's had fucking a roller coaster the last 5 years. To see him get back and play in a team, like we said, all those guys were picked on form from fucking 1 to 17. So Fozzie wasn't gifted that fucking 14 jersey. He's in good form for Manly, has been for the last couple of years. He's earned that. The boys love him. So congrats to Fozzie as well. Bro, that team, man.
Getting home and seeing his uncle and his nan as well.
He rates himself as a fisherman too, eh?
Him and Cheese love a bit of a fish on the side.
Tamari Martin, he's a little pick hunting
just
kid.
a little one on the international boys too, and I wanted just to address this as well. There's been first of all, the fact I'm not too sure why they have to redress it, surely, that they're scrapping away. Were you going to get to this anyway, Jacko? The international, they're scrapping the international round next year. So it's not happening, yeah.
I believe the Four Nations is back next year. And
at the end of the year?
At the end of the year, and there'll be a Pacific window or something just before that. I think that's the play, but I'll have a look where you're going.
Yeah, well, just my thing. I thought it was a really enjoyable weekend.
It's mad.
The biggest concern or the most debatable topic, I think, over the international period has circled around the Tongan team and New South Wales, right? With Daniel Tupou, Tony Staggs declaring their allegiances, not knowing probably a week out. I think it's just a nice little tune, a tweak, in the system would be for the boys to come out and lay it all out. So whether you're eligible to play for Tonga, Samoa, some of the boys are multiple. Kiwis, Tonga, Samoa.
There's a few that are like, say, Francis Mola, Josh Papali'i, they're Cookie and Samoan as well. So
Georgie Defua, he's
Tongan Samoan.
Tongan Samoan, his mother. So like if he was eligible and born in New South Wales and grew up in New South Wales. So whatever it may be, I think the biggest concern for it, Jacko, just after this, is that I reckon you draw. They declare who they want to play for at the start of the year. So then it just gets rid of the clunkiness around Origin time when it comes up. So, for instance, I would like, I'm not saying that the boys should do it, but if it's a World Cup year, I'd like the boys to declare and play for their Pacific Islander heritage to just really boost up the World Cup. Yeah, it might water down Origin for the year, but if they have that passion to play for their state as well, maybe they do it on an off-World Cup year. What do you think of that, Ice? Just letting it know early rather than... I think the main confusion and some of the comments that have come up on pages when it's been some of the boys that are talked about playing for Tonga, but then, they were proud to play for New South Wales and all that sort of stuff. It just gets rid of all those shitty comments that or are the boys just not even really focused on that?
I think it should be like a credit that, like, let's just call it what it is. State of Origin is the pinnacle of our game.
Yeah.
And most of the boys who are eligible should be able to play that as well. And I know some of them are just going to turn it back and go play for Tonga as well. But like the way I see Origin as the pinnacle, I just don't see why like the boys should be bagged out because they picked New South Wales for a mid-year test. Like, realistically, do we really remember that Kiwi and Tonga? Like, it was a great spectacle. All the fans were there. Good game to watch. Kiwis got up, all that sort of stuff as well. But the pinnacle for us is State of Origin. And if I was a proud Tongan person, and I know they're going to represent the country at the end of the year, but I'd be like, fuck, he's playing Origin. He's at the pinnacle. I feel like that. I think if we switch up our mindset and just always looking for the negative, or like, oh, he should be here, not there. I think we should just do it like that way.
So the NRL CEO, Andrew Abdo, I think he's pretty much solved it. It sounds like it. So because I agree with you. I don't think Origin should have any affiliation with the Kangaroos. In my head, they're two different things.
Agree.
You play for your state, and then if you want to play for Australia, you play for Australia. So basically what he's wanting to do is do away with the internationals in the middle of the year and put on some international tournament in October following the NRL season end, which would go alternately every other year with 4 nations.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
In which case the boys can play Origin and declare for Tonga or Samoa, whatever they decide to do, and you don't have this mid-year clash. Because I think at the moment, as much as we love the international game, the fact that it's around Origin time is the only reason we have these conversations. Because I think, personally, I believe we're going to see Jerome Luai and all those boys play for Samoa at the end of the year.
Fuck, I hope they do, bro. So have you seen their paper on team? How good it is?
Team on paper.
I think they will. And if it's only at the end of the year in October, that kind of takes all that away. So it sounds like that makes
sense. That makes sense to me as well. And the good thing about that, so like obviously like the Cook Islands, like we were struggling to put a team together. So like our halfback was just playing for Te 2 Roosters. Anthony Galling hasn't played footy in a year and a half. He's just selling.
We're not right, your boy too.
Yeah, no, he went good.
Yeah,
he's just that type of guy. He can rock up and do shit like that as well. But if we move that towards the end of the year, we could bring 5-6 players back from England and should really strengthen up our team. And like the boys held their gloves up and against a really good Samoa side as well. But we throw a few more troops in there, it gets a little bit more interesting.
Well, yeah, I think that's the plan. I hope that happens. So all done.
Yep. So some of the names that obviously people know about: Brian Toto, Jerome Luai, Steve Crichton, Tino, Vasil Mulawee. Yeah, sorry, you threw me off there. I was getting to the forwards. Junior Paulo and Josh Papali'i. Fuck, bro, that Samoan team would be stacked on the back of what they had against the Cookies as well with that back line.
They're already stacked.
Yeah.
I think the only changes Tonga will be making was they'll bring a few boys back from the UK for World Cup, like Tui Lolohea.
Yeah, Lolohea is the big one for
And before
Tonga.
I get corrected as well, I know there are Samoans that are playing for New Zealand, but I assume that they're going to play for the Kiwis if they declared playing for New Zealand during this
like
test.
Nelly from Wally.
Yeah.
He's a Kiwi.
I think he's out and out. He's just like declared Kiwi. The big one is Dill Brown. He's an interesting one. Like, I wonder what Dill would do.
He's Kiwi.
As Northland as they come.
He's a bit hoary, isn't he? Yeah. So he'll play for the
He's
Kiwis.
not even Māori too.
No,
he's not. No.
Yeah, he's Samoan.
He's just Northland, bro.
Yeah, as soon as you're from up north, you're basically Māori.
Yeah.
All right, before we move into the game previews, the sort of big topic overnight was that Matty Lodge has inked a deal to stay jump on board with the Roosters for the rest of the year. So casual little 100K must be nice.
It'd be right,
tagged on with
6
the Roosters.
weeks,
Ice, what do you make of your boys grabbing Matty Lodge?
I didn't even know. I didn't even see that news until you told me this morning. Great signing for us. I think we're light in the forward pack. I know Takiaho and Jared are there, but we just need that other guy that we can take a bit of pressure off. And we've got Lindsay Collins. That's a fucking fair prop rotation. And I know the Roosters have been struggling. We're coming up against the big dogs this week as well, but love the signing, and very Roosters like to get a deal like that done.
Reminds me of Penrith last year when they got Tavita just at the back end of the year, and he just contributed nicely. Didn't blow anyone away. I don't think Matty Lodge will blow anyone away, but he'll be in the line. He's aggressive cunt.
Oh, when you look up and you got Matty Lodge there, Jared there, Takiaho, Radley. You're like, fuck, where to run. And Mudders Hutchison's in the 9 now. No, he'll put a shot on you too. Yeah. So, like, I don't know, it gives us a bit more go forward, give us a bit more intimidation factor. Good signing by the Roosters.
Your boy Mudders has been named at 6 again, Skip, this week.
Did we not want to talk about the PNG Fijian game a little bit before, or would we?
Go for it.
We'll go through the best and then because we've got an NRLW as well that I want to talk about as well. Give them a wrap before we get into 3 of the best. Because you just... let's talk about. You mentioned it. We did a little post on it. The Labert for
my boy.
You mentioned him last week on the show. Unreal.
How's he not
Yeah, that's
you
what I
know.
wanted to talk about. Like his efforts in the same post, talking about Viliami Kikau, who looked very frustrated by the end of the game. It looked like, I was frustrated as well because I had him for anytime jam. So I was hoping he was going to cross, but I was just like, love seeing it from the Kummels. And I thought that might be the difference. Him and Lockie Lamb were unreal.
That's the best game I've seen Lockie Lamb play.
Yeah, for sure.
I know he's sort of been always in and around sort of first grade and reserve grade a lot, but he stood out that game. Yeah, he was the difference. Obviously, we went over to the other side, and poor Kevin Naguama had the 6 on his back.
Yeah, Kevy's a good player,
gun.
but Kevy's just not a 6. He reminds me of the Skip playing 6 for Glenmore Park on the weekend. Look, he's a footy player, but he's just not going to get the job done in the halves.
Yeah.
Shout out to David Mead. I want to give him a shout out as well. He played he's been a great representation of the Kummels over the years. He's always gone back and played 100 for them. He played his last game. And another guy, Nixon played on the left edge, back row with Justin Olam. I thought he was probably...
Is he the one that knocked out that dude straight away in that carry?
I think so. Yeah, I thought he was close to the performance of the game if it wasn't for how well the halves played.
Nah, that little nugget prop, who the fuck was that? He's just running over
Who,
people.
the entire pack?
He was about 4'3".
Who, the entire pack?
Bro, he made Chico look tall, that dude. That guy, and there was a guy that come off the bench, like Minzy something.
I thought their 9 was nice, actually. Even Chico was saying, like, upstairs, it's big raps from Chico because he doesn't rap anyone, but he was nice, man.
I reckon the one that come off the bench was better.
Same. Liam Horn was his name. Mackenzie Yeh.
Mackenzie Yeh, fuck, he's the man, bro.
He was good.
Yeh.
I think he even fucking got his pants pulled down and still ran for 15 metres. But Nixon Putt, man, he looks to be a player. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It's a little bit different with these names. They're not as familiar for us. But I think he must play in the Papua New Guinean team that plays in the Q Cup, playing the Hunters. Fiji, across the board.
Fullback was a gun.
Fucking Sunia Turavu.
He's from the Panthers.
Yeah, he's
as
part
well,
of the Panthers system. He's named on the extended squad for this week as well, so he must not be too far away. Fuck, he looks a real player of the future for them. A couple of their big names just didn't really get too much good ball. I think that was a reflection of their halves.
Do you know who the standout for me was? And I didn't think he could ball like this. Fucking Tane Milne.
Yeah. Tane Milne was nice.
At the 13, bro. Yeah. He was fucking mad.
He's a nice follow, Tane, too.
He is.
Yeah, he's nice. All Fijians are.
Yeah.
All Fijians are really good
I see him at Barber Brothers every now and again too. We'll go get a cut and just he reminds me a lot of Georgie Tafua, his mannerisms. Yeah. Like he's real quiet, reserved.
He could drag his career out a lot longer because he started from wing centre. He could easily play 13.
He's one of those quiet, cruisy dudes that just gets out on the field and just wants to kill everyone. Like you love it. I love playing with those guys. They're the best guys to play with, man. Like nice Stevie Maddow was like that. He was like really chilled, relaxed, get out and just want to hurt people. But he showed some nice skill, had a good engine. Big Tui started to cramp up. He wasn't used to playing 60 minutes at Melbourne. So I think that's what sort of just let him down. They looked a bit clunky in the halves, but just an all-round.
That was a good game.
And Cookies, just the way they kept on fighting. It looked like it was going to be 50 after the first 10 or 15 minutes.
No, it didn't.
Well, fucking overdid. Fucking overdid. But then when Jello come back on from his, I'm not too sure if he's familiar with the rules, but he's got to go off with the HIA.
No, he knows the rules. He's a man of the people. The Jello.
Fuck, he's a giggle, man. It was good to see him. I think he had 11 carries for 13 offloads. So I'm not too sure how that happened. But
he's the offload king, Joe.
Yeah,
and then used to play with Jello, like, get us to a point. End up on the sideline somewhere. Ruin our whole set.
And just before we move off it, boys, and get into the other rounds, the NRLW, another fucking solid game. Again, Skip's IQ with the NRLW was there for everyone to see. Emma Tanegato, if it wasn't for Tamika Upton, would have scored the first try, but then she ends up getting the second try. Destiny Brewer went over the first one for Queensland. A really good game. Isabel Kelly, she is fucking a gun. That was the difference. The outside backs, Surgis, Clydesdale, who I said played back row for the Roosters, was unreal with her carries. The physicality of that Origin game. The girls going to 2 games next year. I thought they were unreal. Keely Davis was unreal through the middle for him. And Caitlin Johnson, who come off the bench, she was the only Newcastle representative. Bro, did you see her catch it off the first carrier?
Yeah. That's Toddy Payton.
Oh, she gets Origin footy, Caitlin Johnson. Don't worry about that. I thought 11,000 for the crowd in Canberra. I was a little bit concerned they weren't going to get
Apologise.
No, I'm not.
What? That's good.
Yeah, guess what? fuck, they would have got 20 at Bankwest, and I'll fucking go to the grave with that.
20?
11K. 15 to 20K, man. Like, there was so many young girls in the crowd. I just think that's, just a shout out to the girls, that the strength of the game and the quality of how far they've come to get 11K at Canberra on a fucking Friday night game at 7 p.m. And I had someone message me, and he was from Canberra, and I wrote back to him, it's not a knock on Canberra, it's a knock on them playing a game at Canberra in the middle of winter. I said, I love playing games at Canberra.
No, you don't.
Early on and later in the year on a Sunday arvo.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice place to play.
You saved yourself there.
Yeah, well, let me finish. And then you'll probably get the rest of the story. But just playing the girls at that point of the year there. But the conditions looked relatively good. It looked a bit chilly. You could see they were a bit like lining up for the kickoff. But shout out to the girls. Another good game.
The growth for the girls' game over the past 18 months has been fucking unbelievable. Like skill-wise, like branding, everything. It's just all coming together.
It is.
Fucking good. Shout out to whoever's running that. Like, I don't know who's at the top there.
Yep.
But they're doing a really, really good job. So
except for playing the girls in Canberra. That was their only mistake. But no, jokes aside, I just really think they could have had a much bigger crowd. And by much bigger crowd, I think they could have got 15K for sure at Redcliffe or Bankwest or something like that.
Speaking of bigger crowds, the girls, the Kiwi Ferns and the Tongan women did set a world record for female rugby league.
Yeah,
so
that was a good game too.
They had 18,000 at Mount Smart for their game. So that was a world record for female rugby league. So
cool.
There you go.
Shout out to the girls.
Yeah,
I saw Georgia Hale talk about it. She's like, grateful we're playing Tonga because like the crowds just rock up. Tonga's got one of those fan base. They don't give a fuck if they're losing. Them flags keep waving.
They scored right at the end. There's a young girl, I'm forgetting her name. I'll go to quickly get it up for the Tongan team.
Shout out Amy Turner from my hometown as well.
Yeah, she's a gun brush. She plays for the Broncos.
Another girl from the 86.
She's from the Toke.
What's up?
I think they're sisters, the McGregor sisters. Madison Bartlett's a gun, plays for the Dragons. The team's pretty stacked for the Kiwis as well. If they were to come up, Georgia Ho, I think's up. She played for the Titans.
Georgia's been playing for a long time, but she
she's played for the Titans. Yeah, she's a gun.
She's moved into the 13 now.
But there was a young girl who had a really nice play. She scored right on the death. Is Hayley Hiffle? If I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. She only looks like she's young, about 19, 20 or whatever, but I have a feeling that she might be playing some more footy. Tegan Dimmick, I think she's related to Jimmy and Milton because they were part of the coaching staff and Fletty was over there. So the girls' game.
What's Fletty coaching? Just offloads?
Oh, fuck.
The offload specialist.
Mate, just grabbing it in one hand and fucking playing a bit of basketball with the girls as well. But yeah, he's coaching. He's getting into it.
Fletty.
Oh, Fletty.
Who's the best offloaders of all time? He'd be up there.
Him and Lauatiti?
Lauatiti.
Sonny like always seemed to pick the offload. Like he never threw dumb ones. You know what I mean?
Sonny's thing, and he's talked about it. I seen him doing a thing with Stan Sport. Like Sonny's the best. The beauty of Sonny was run first, where the other two, I reckon, they offload first. Fletty and Lauatiti going into contact looking for the offload. Sonny wanted to go through the line and get the offload through the line. Whereas Fletty would come in, bang, and get like two or three people, like almost grab a player to pull them in and then fucking flick it out the back and create an
Do you want to know who the worst offloader of all time is? Clint Newton. he used to try and he's a bit older. He used to carry the ball and people used to get under him.
Yeah.
And you know when you lose one of your legs and you get it hot back, bro, he used to just fucking throw the hand grenade out.
Nothing worse than a guy that's
the self-preservation offload is the worst offload you can ever throw in rugby league because you're basically protecting yourself and not the ball.
Hindy was pretty bad too. Hindy had a good stretch in 09 where everyone was just offloading for fun, like that Fletty, Hindy and that. But sometimes, the back end, like around 11 and 12, when he'd get that big base, he'd put the fucking tripod out and he'd just be looking at it again.
Tackle one. No, nothing worse. You know when someone gets underneath you and you lose your legs, like you lose your like center of balance? Yeah. Fuck, it's annoying. Just start throwing out hand grenades. Shout out Nudo.
Shout out to the girls. Okay, before we get back to the show, it's time to clip up the rig with our friends at Manscaped. As you know, we've got all the latest Manscaped stuff that's been coming out, the Lawnmower 4.0. We got the Crotch Comfort with the new Manscaped boxer briefs. I've had the honour of testing these bad boys too, and I can say the softest fabric of any underwear. It's breathable, it's good for the groin, it's good for the missus. It's just a good time, baby. Even the trademark, the jewel pouch, so you know it's serious. I think it's time you invest in your family jewels, so let your bulge breathe like the hectic cheese on the weekend and get 20% off with code SCOPE, SCOPE. I know how to spell scope by now. And don't even worry about ice, actually. Just fucking bring all the fucking moolah to the scope at manscaped.com for 20% off, baby. That's jam. Now back to the show. Shout out to the
girls.
girls, very good. And even the under-19s, like we talked about, there's some good young girls coming in that under-19s.
So there's room to grow 4 more teams?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, for sure. For sure to be good. I think they're rolling.
That's a lot. You're basically doubling your comp.
Yeah, I think they're not going to do it straight away, but do they go to 8?
Yeah, the Cowboys. There's 4 teams coming in next
Stars.
Is it, yes, and next year is this year, right? Or is next year? Because they're making up for a COVID year at the end of the year.
year. Good question.
Yeah.
I'll double check for you.
I think it'll probably be next year.
I tell you what, bro, you can win. I know you've been doing this for a while, Scott. You can fucking win some money on those girls, and betting.
There's some jam to be made. Hey, Taryn Aiken, little show and go. Fuck, how about that?
She's silk.
Yeah, she's gun brush. She hits that all the time. If she gets like a wide 4, sits on the outside, and then if it's not on, you can get some jam around her too. Because see, a little bit later in the game,
Sure.
So she got her with who did she get on the outside? Surgis actually took the show. Bang, she took the show. So next time she went up to Surgis ended up sinking in. She just goes tip, and fucking they nearly scored on the edge. But it's nice when you just call it like that and you just see it happen. It's very oracally like we just don't clip it up. So.
Oh, shout out Corbin. Having a baby too.
Yeah, Corbin,
shout out Corbin.
McGregor, Baxter.
Yep.
Baxter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she's having a baby. So I was wondering why she wasn't playing.
One
Yeah.
of YKTR's favourites.
Yeah, always rocking the YKTR kit and her and her partner.
Good
so-
on content too.
Yeah,
Very
she's
good.
gone. Yeah, Vibey. Those pics after are Vibey with the fucking Puma goggles and shit. That was mad.
That was mad.
Oh, jeez.
All right, let's jump on to Thursday night footy. Our boy Cheese playing in his 100th game. So
We'll be
shout
there.
out Cheese. We will be there out at Scopes Old Stomping Ground in Brookvale. Manly taking on the Melbourne Storm. Pappenhausen has been named in the reserves.
Ooh.
And Munster has been named despite the shoulder injury, isn't it? It's an AC.
Yeah.
So Braith sit on 360. He wasn't playing. He has been named. I don't know what you know here, Skip, but
No information.
No
Legit,
info?
no information.
Do you reckon Prez will
this-
pick Braith or you?
Pardon?
Life or death? Do you reckon Prez will pick Braith or you?
In what scenario?
Just life or death?
To like just have his back?
Yeah.
You know, it's a Skip. Skip's always got his back. And that's respectfully to Braith.
Manly versus Melbourne Scope. What do you like? What are you looking at?
No DCEA. Is that?
a couple of
reports are that DC and Jake are going to be rested, but they've been named, so I'm not too sure what's going on there.
Yeah, it's always hard. So going through these games, just sort of identified a few players. Josh Alloway's a big loss. He had a really scary knock there. He went too low on one of the
Ruben
cookies. Yeah, and you notice it when he's not playing for us in the middle of the pack. I always talk about how, sometimes the middles have let Jakey down this year. I thought T. Sips has been really good for us this year, and we get Taniela Paseka back. But Josh Alloway will be a big loss. Kafusi and Prez looks like if it's reported right from Braith that he's out, that'll be a big loss. But they've got a little guy on the extended bench in number 18-19, Ryan Pappenhausen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he goes all right. So
Yeah, he's all right.
I dare say if I think we might see Pappy because he was on the extended bench last week or the week before Origin round. You might see Meaney flow into that 6 role. They've also got Jaden Nicarima on the bench as cover, so maybe Meaney goes back to the 14. But I dare say we might see Pappy play this week. And
Is that young kid ready for Origin? Oh, ready for NRL? The one who was playing in New South Wales 19s?
Peasant. He looks
nice.
all right. Yeah, someone said I pronounced it fucking peasant. It's Peasant, Troy Peasant. Yeah, he's silky, man. Apparently the Knights had him and they let him go because I didn't know much about him, right? So I'm watching these under-19s games and I'm listening to the commentary and they're talking about a few of these young guns that are coming through. There's some good young players, man. That quality of that boys under-19s game was like
It's up
fucking
there, eh?
NRL level,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Jack Howarth, he's another Storm boy. You know, we worried about like Storm losing some players. They're bringing them through, man.
They don't. Yeah, they just keep rolling.
Yeah, they don't know.
Ola Kawatu will be fresh from the weekend.
Oh, Kawatu. Oh, that was another thing for the big plus for the Kiwis before we. It's related to Manly. Jeez, I was happy to see Hamali sitting on the fucking duty bench for 60 of the best.
Bevy
Fuck
French.
me. He should have been starting. Like, I know they've got some good players in there, and Tilly Tupanor and Colomantangi, but geez, it was a pleasure to see him, especially in the rain too. That's where he does his best work, coming off his right foot, drop him under, send him fucking straight at fucking Dill Brown, I think's on the left. He normally comes
Dill
on
Brown
the right.
shot him.
Yeah, Dill Brown gets amongst it.
Yeah.
But Dill Brown can get done by a little bit of late footwork as well. So I was just happy just not to see him on the field. For as a Kiwi fan and also as a Manly fan, he should be nice and reserved. I think he'll be in for a big one. But I think
Storm touch him up.
Storm, no, not touch him up.
Storm touch him up.
No way.
100 games for the Cheese. The boy's going to get around him.
Yeah, shout out to the Cheese. Big game.
He knows
Husey.
we'll be there too, so he's going to try and put on a clinic. Get some jam on him. Put some money on him.
Yeah, Melbourne.
Yeah, easy.
Scope.
Melbourne in a close one.
Like, have you got no Jakey, no DCE? Like, who
They've
you
been
got?
named, so let's assume they're
Jakey
gonna
will play.
Yeah.
DCE, maybe.
Yeah, DC will play. Ches will play. He's that type of guy. He's too competitive, man. After a performance like, being the skipper of Queensland and then not playing well, he'll want to come out and have a big one for sure. And it's against the Storm too, so he loves playing against the Storm.
All right, moving on to the Newcastle Knights taking on the Gold Coast Titans. Skip, that is the Friday night game. No KP, obviously, so Sexy Texie is back in.
Yep.
As is David Fafita, and Tino is going to be backing up as well. So Fafita, first game back on the 17th.
Tino is the man.
After Origin 1, Tino came off the pine and had a real impact, even though they lost to South. He scored 2 tries. He's just...
He's way too good for that team, eh?
You know what you're going to get from Tino. I still think there's something there with the Titans. I don't know if they just got to stick with it.
You've had big raps on Holbrook for a minute. He hasn't delivered. To be fair.
Not only Holbrook, but I just think there's something there with that lineup. There's just, whether it's a piece or two that just needs to be moved around. I really believe that Fozzie will have a calming effect on the halves when he gets up there next year. I really think he could be the missing piece. Like, look at a team.
Chad Townsend.
Look at a team like the Broncos and the 2 other teams up there, and where they've had 2 veterans come up, and even over the last couple of years, the Cowboys, probably more so the Broncos, have looked erratic, but once they got a steady influence, it's just really calmed them down. I think Fozzie could be the difference up there, but I'm not giving up on the Titans, at least until I see what happens next year. But I think they can get the job done against this Knights team, eh?
Yeah, I saw.
It's a tough game. It's a tough game to fucking punt on.
The $2.35 at the start of the week.
Yeah, that was
before KP was ruled out. Would have been money, but
no, because he had been ruled out, and there was $2.35, and I think they just really took their time to adjust it. If he snubbed up the $2.35, you'd be happy with that. But then again, it's the Titans.
Sexy Texas has been good this year when he's jumped in at the 1, I reckon. And I know he's potentially going over to the Super League. I've sort of read those sort of rumours in the paper. So he might be playing for a contract, and you usually play good footy when you're playing for a contract. So I reckon the Knights will still get him.
Hypothetical for your ice.
Yo.
David Fafita is back. Say he comes out and absolutely kills it for the next
Throw him in.
2 rounds. Does he find his way onto that Queensland bench in terms of a bit of an X factor for game 3?
If there was one other guy that would be in contention, would be Jeremiah Nanai, who looked a little bit
agree.
starstruck. Not this time around, but
so if that's what I'm saying. If David Fafita absolutely comes out and does David Fafita shit, could he potentially push out a guy like Nanai?
No, he doesn't have to do David Fafita shit. He has to do the stuff that Billy respects and what Melbourne respect, and that's like. And you see Viliama Kikau, he's probably as talented physically as David Fafita is, but he'll go out and put a shot on, and he'll go out and put kick pressure on. It's not about doing a 40-meter try; it's about doing that stuff, and that's the difference in Origin for me. So if he does that, he's in.
Yeah, he's got to go and work his ass off.
Yeah,
but I think Billy will stick. I reckon Billy will stick solid. Just maybe Murray will be the guy that misses out, because that was
indifferent.
Yeah, pretty rough for him.
Ice, you going to go Newey or Gold Coast?
Go for the X, Newey.
Yeah, why not?
Get a win.
I'm going to go Knights half-time, Titans full-time.
I love that.
Yeah,
you always get about 6 for that sort of shit.
Yeah,
I tell you what, the Titans can string a half. If the comp was 40 minutes, but Titans would be up there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If game to 40 minutes, eh?
Yeah, if just like it doesn't matter if it's first half or second half, they're going to play one good one.
Yeah.
You just don't know which one it's going to be.
All right, the second game on Friday night, Ice is your boys, the Bondi Boys, taking on the mighty Penrith Panthers.
I can't believe we're sitting at 9th, bro.
I can.
You think too low, or?
I don't know. It's just weird seeing a 9 underneath the Roosters' name.
Yeah, it is a bit strange. What do you like?
Yeah, I think we're in for probably another rough one. Just Panthers just got the hot hand. Eventually it's going to run out but it just won't be in the next couple of years for the Panthers. I just think they're going to be too good. I think Nathan Cleary and all those boys are going to be on the high. I think all those Polynesian boys breaking away and going into their culture are going to be on the high. And now we're playing out of Bluebet Stadium. Fuck, they're good out there. It's cold out there for us eastern suburbs boys. Bit of dew at the foot of the Blue Mountains. So 8 o'clock, that's a yuck time to play at Penrith. And when I was at Penrith, we used to talk about this. People didn't like coming out to Penrith at that time. We didn't have the roster that these boys have, but yeah, no sea breeze. It's going to be weird for them.
Let's go.
Hey, it's a bad week to be a Rooster. It's a bad week to be a Rooster.
Might load up now.
They've named a very good side, the Roosters, this week.
When are the Roosters ever at 450A?
They've got 550 here. That was from yesterday. They're 550 now.
Blown up
this
to 550.
Load up, Roosters.
And that's still unders. Yeah, the Roosters, you're looking at 9th position, Ice. They just haven't been able to field the full team. Their team looks a lot better this week with Radley coming back in, but they still haven't got Kez back. Muddis Hutchinson's been good for them. I wonder if they will. It just depends on where the season's at. I know he's still only young, but I think the future for Joseph Sawali in the short-term future anyway is left centre.
Agree.
Flipping him over. I know he's got a nice little combination with Joey Manu. And maybe they just keep him there for the rest of the year and keep building that confidence and racking up tries. And
they do that. Yeah, that's a good point. Like if he goes to the end of the season, he's got 20 tries underneath his belt. I think he gets a bit more confidence about it.
For sure.
And he will learn how to play centre. Sometimes you learn better by being outside a really good centre than actually being in that position. So I think they just keep him in. They've done that with Roger and they've done that before, like with Joey.
Yeah,
so
take your time.
Take your time.
He's been their best player in the last 3 games.
Oh,
Easy.
Him and Joey. Swaley's last 3 games.
Yeah, last 3 games.
Connor Watson is back in this week as well. So
Connor's been coming off the pine for him.
I think that game for Origin for Crichton might be a little booster.
He
for
played
him.
well, Crichton. Didn't overcomplicate it, which was good. Like, didn't really have to. A lot of those players. Everyone played well for New South Wales, man. They won by fucking 30.
Even the international stuff, I think Taukeaho and Tupanua, just to maybe a freshen up,
Yeah.
always helps. So, because Tupanua, as good as he's been this year, probably hasn't been the Sitili that was fucking running over blokes last year for fun.
Yeah.
So,
That line he ran against Parramatta, and his line was so good that it beat Gutho as well.
Yeah.
just keep going.
Fuck, bro. He's one guy that none of the Tongans do. They don't possess a handbrake. Them and the Kummels refuse. They don't in the gearbox when you put together a car.
No.
Don't worry about the handbrake.
Ice, you mentioned that it is weird to see the Roosters sitting 9th. You obviously expect them to break into the 8 at some stage over the back end of the year. So do they kick out the current 8 when you're looking at the Dragons, Rabbitohs, and Eels? Who out of there do you think falls out to make way for your Roosters?
Depends on the trail with the Rabbitohs, but I think the Dragons will, surely. Like, we're a better team than the Dragons. We just haven't played that great. So Dragons are out, we'll be in.
Scott,
maybe Roosters, Rabbitohs out as well.
If there was one team, it's got to be, you'd think the Dragons.
All right, moving on, we have the Cronulla Sharks taking on the Simi-less Bulldogs. The boys, Aaron Shop and Maxi King, were demanding Simi gets brought back into the fold. But at the moment, they're flying the doggies. They are.
Yeah, just keep him far away from you. He's gone on a fucking mini run, even against the Panthers game. There was signs of improvement, and that's when Simi was done. So get him away from you. He's a fucking curse.
Taking on the Sharks, Scope, what do you like?
I like the fact that Simi's not part of the Bulldogs.
That's a mistake.
I think, they're building nicely. I think this might be a tricky game for the Sharks. I'm still going to go to the Sharks, I think. I think with I like the fact that they've sort of the last couple of games had Finucane on the bench too, the skipper.
They got any rep players at the moment, really?
Nah, the wingers played for the internationals.
For a top 4 side, they don't have many rep players, which is going to be good.
Talakai played for New South Wales.
Talo was nice for the Kiwis.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Yeah, he's always nice.
Yeah. Katoa came out and tried to get him too a couple of times.
I saw that.
I love that shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's what we sort of talked about last year with regards to Latrell and Joey Manu when that incident happened. Like when one of your boys plays for the opposite team, it doesn't matter what level, whether it's state, internationals, park footy, in local fucking Penrith comp, you just want to fucking rip their heads off. And I love seeing that. And even Ronaldo had a little bit of a jab at him on Instagram too after it, which was pretty funny. So you love seeing that. Even Tupanua, bro. Yeah. Tupanua got Joey, good one right at the end too. Pretty much similar to what Latrell did last year, but no one talked about it because Joey didn't break his jaw. But that's it. Your boys playing for the opposite team.
That's it.
Come get some, baby.
That's it.
What do you like here?
We'll go Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Maxi King and Aaron Shop, when they were in here, they were mentioned how important this game was for them. Is like they love the fact, that 2 wins is always nice, but they go, they really have a look at Cronulla as a top side, and they go, fuck, if we can jag this, we'll really take some confidence. So
yeah, for sure.
They spoke
that's
highly
important.
about this game. Yeah.
No, that's important, and like talking to them a little bit about. It's nice when you're down the bottom and you get a win. Fuck, it's nice when you get 2. If you can jag 3, holy cunt, you start looking around going, fuck,
we're in the 8.
Fuck, we're all right. We're all right again because it's the same thing. Remember I talked about at the start of the year, the first 4 games? You lose fucking 3 out of those 4, you start looking around going, fuck, we suck. But it's halfway through the year, you start to build momentum. You think about the 09 run at Parramatta, how bad they were at the start of the year, but then they won 7 from 8. Something can just click. And I'm not saying the Bulldogs are going to go and fucking make a grand final, but it just builds belief and you can build some good systems and start working on that for the year after.
I think Burden puts on a clinic this game. I think he'll be on a fucking high after that Origin.
A part of me wants to select them, but I just still think there's some really good players on that Cronulla team, Sharkies team. And
Moyes has been slept on, eh? Like, we don't talk about him enough.
Yeah.
Fuck, he's been playing really well.
Nico's probably cooled down a little bit from the start of the year. I think maybe his name floated around in and about. He's been part of the squads for Origin. Would be a little bit frustrated. He'd probably want to be
Trying to do too much.
you maybe trying like when I watch him play, I sort of get the same feel that I probably got with Teddy at the start of the year, where he's probably trying to do too much.
Hey, that was my take.
No, your take was a little bit different. I was anyway, you threw me off there, but yeah, Sharky's in a close one. I think this will be competitive. Shout out to Jeremy Marshall King too.
Yeah,
Jeremy
nice.
Marshall King. Watching the game where who did they beat just before the bye? Tigers
and Roosters, yeah.
went over for a meeting, and Dad's a selector for the Kiwis, and why didn't you pick Jeremy Marshall King? And he was pretty unlucky. Yeah, just a part of the squad. They had a 23-man squad.
Aaron
They
Clark
picked Aaron
got in
Clark
there.
over him, which is the versatility of him being able to play lock, because he's actually been playing better for them at the lock position than he has for hooker, I reckon. So I thought Jeremy Marshall King's been out on this little run. Matty Burton's been unreal. The Fox, the young kids, Karaz and Shop that I mentioned. He's been impressive. And good to see Raymond Fatilla Mariner coming back, and he spent 18 months out of the game. I think he's fucking well respected within that playing group. The boys spoke highly about, certain guys like that have a presence in the locker room, and sometimes it's hard when you're not playing to have that presence and a flow into games, and I think he's a guy like that for them. So this should be a good game. I think the Sharkies in a close one.
Shop's quicker than I thought he'd be, eh? You got that break?
Yeah.
He's quick, bro.
Yeah.
He was saying when he was in there, they clocked him at 37 point something.
Oh, yeah.
So he's rapid.
Little nugget.
No, he's not. I don't think he's a nugget, eh? He looks nuggety on the field, but
He gives me Matt Cooper vibes because he's still young. He's only 19.
yeah.
He can grow into that body. I have a feeling he's going to be like a real Matt Cooper type like player.
He's a good-looking fella. And
he's from South Coast too.
Starting to realise it too.
Yeah, he feels himself a little bit. He thinks he's a bit of a snack. He loves the YKTR. He told me he's got the left edge of doom now. So he's feeling himself. Good on him. I want him to kill it.
I'm going to go the doggies as well. Fuck it. All right, and I think
Oh,
game
can I
of the round-
change? No.
Game of the round is
Fucking oath it will
getting
be.
fucking 2015 vibes here. The third place Cowboys taking on the Brisbane Broncos. Luciano Leilua will make his Cowboys debut off the bench.
Yeah,
and
Luch. Can't wait to see him play for him.
Ren Diggity is back for the Broncos. So this is in Townsville. Scope, talk to me.
Cowboys have had the wood on the Broncos this year. The proper wood. So 26-6 in the trial, 36-12 in the game at Suncorp.
Then I scored a Hattie, eh?
Yep. Up at North Queensland,
I think
people think this is going to be close.
touch-ups.
Skip's going to go with. He's going to back the flow of how it's been. 13 plus Cowboys.
Who's at the 6 for Bronx? Is it Mam or Gamble?
Yeah, Ezra Man.
Ezra
Man.
I'm going Bronx. I think Ren back as well. I think he just makes him a lot better as well. So
Billy Walters still in the 9 ice. No, you love that.
I love Billy Walters. Big fan. I think he's a really good 9. Yeah, this is going to be a really good game. Like Jacko said, 2015 vibes. Both teams are in form. It's great for the competition, great for rugby league, and great for Queensland as well. But I think Reynolds back is going to be. I just think Cowboys have been on that run for so long. They've got to have a dip game sooner or later. It might not be this week, but it's coming.
Yeah, it won't be this week because there'll be a lot of energy.
Local derby?
Whether they flog them or not, that's a different thing. But I think I like the Cowboys at home against the Broncos.
Hey, question: how does that fucking Queensland Derby shield work?
I don't know.
I didn't even know they had one. So I'll have
You
a
know
look for
that you know that 4X one, and it's like the shape of. And I feel like everyone's taking a photo of it all the time when the teams play. Has it got like a Ramphilly
I haven't
shield
even noticed
vibe?
it.
I've never noticed it. I'll find it for you.
Hey, that's that IQ, man. Yeah, Broncos. Let's roll into the next game.
IQ would be knowing what it.
You don't even know it exists.
Yeah, well, we didn't bring it up.
All right, Saturday Rabbitohs versus the Eels. While Jack
This
is
is going
doing
to be a
some
good
research.
one. This is going to be a good one.
Trell Met on the return. Trell Met looking fit. Who you going, Jack?
What was the rest of it? In the blue kit.
Dick him up in the blue kit.
That's it.
That's it.
People thought that was Lukey. That was you rolling with that. I knew straight away that was you. Fuck, this is going to be a good game, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the Troll back.
What power rocks up in this game?
Yeah, good power will rock up in this game because it's South and Latrell's back. If Latrell wasn't playing, I'll probably go fucking the Rabbitohs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the type of team Parramatta are. But I think with the fact that Latrell's back in, you're right. He is looking fit. I think he frees
That's
up
it.
Cody. Cody enjoys that. Coming off the back of the performance against the Dragons where they were awful in the first half. Poor Lockie Ilias.
Fuck,
got
poor
hooked.
dude, eh?
got hooked for 25 minutes. But Maysport brought up a good point on his podcast. At the end of the day, fuck, we've all been dropped. It all happens to everyone. It's going to happen to him again, probably at the point of his career. It's how you bounce back. It seems like I met him once at that invitational at the start of the year. Seems like just a real good level-headed kid.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine.
The thing I liked about that, bro, because I was watching the Channel 9 coverage of that game, and the guy that went up to him afterwards and spent the most time with him was Damien Cook.
Yeah, okay.
Like, he was sitting down there for sure. Like, after being dropped, bro, you get in the shed.
Nothing worse.
You don't feel like you're a part of the team and anything like that. And I just seen Damien Cook rock up to him, bend over and spend a bit of time with him and probably just say the same stuff that you've just said. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And when you're a young footy player and you live week by week, stuff like that feels like the end of the world. But it's not.
Feels like everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
You feel like all the cameras are on you.
And the cameras were on him too.
Yeah.
And they were talking about him, but he'll bounce back. And I think, like you said, Trail Mitt, he's the guy that makes everyone better in that team. We'll start to see the best of Cody Walker now, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think we really got to talk much about the Para and Roosters game because we flowed straight into Origin, but the enterprising footy that Parramatta Eels played, and Roosters scored some nice tries.
Para's so good to watch.
That compilation of tries that Para scored in that game against the Roosters was the best combination of like 4 to 5 tries I've ever seen by a one team in one game. But even Roosters put on some fucking nice tries themselves. Like, that game was so, like, the quality was so good in the first half that they looked fucking gassed. Everyone on the field looked gassed in the second half. It was just about getting through the sets. There was only the one Joseph Sawali try that was pretty lucky in the end, where it looked like he fucking come off the side of the boot, bounced back into him. But Para, man, fuck, it's who knows? I have a feeling.
What's the answer, Scope, for Para?
I feel like they've just got to play a top four team every week, and they'll be sweet. And
they could have that off day in the GF.
This Rabbitohs team, what are they, 6th or 7th? Did you say at the moment, Jacko?
Yeah.
On paper, on paper, this is a top 5, top 6 team, so they'll be up for it. Should be a good game. When's this on? Saturday, 7:30. Yeah, nice. Looking forward to watching that.
Good little Saturday.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Your boy Tiny Milne back in the centres too, so
get him at 13. Move Cam Murray back to the bench.
Move Cam Murray to centres.
That works so well for me as Melbourne, eh?
Hey, coaches, teams are 0-2 when Cam Murray starts on the bench this year.
There you go. And obviously, Scope, game of the round. The boys are back at home.
Fuck yeah.
The Warriors.
Thank you.
Thank you, Warriors.
Thank you, Warriors.
Thank you, Warriors.
Up the wires.
Up the wires. The boys are back at home. And look, have they been selective with who they're taking home, maybe? They didn't want to take the Penrith game home for obvious reasons.
Smart. It's marketing.
So they've taken a competitive game home. So they take on the Tigers, Scope. The only 2 players from the Warriors that the last time the Warriors played at home, the only 2 remaining squad members are Chanel and Jazz. So the rest of the entire squad is different. Kim Amala's obviously on the other side. He'd be playing. James Roberts is the new in for the Tigers after a couple of good cup games. He's back in the centres for them.
Shout out Jimmy the Jet.
So Jimmy the Jet is back. Warriors at home against the Tigers, Scope.
This is the best lineup I've seen for the Warriors in a minute.
You and Aiken back in the centres.
Yeah, I like you and Aiken back in the centres. I I touched on a little bit, the nice little subtle touches that Ronald Volkman had. They had a real crack against the Penrith, but still lost by 40 because that's just who Penrith are this year.
Isha at home. It's going to be nice.
Jazzy Stavaga in the 10. You love to see it. You love to see it. You know he's going to have a crack. Mudders Curran's got 2 games under his belt now. He's looked a little bit underdone in the game so far, but maybe that little bit extra rest after getting a couple of games. Chanel, it was good to see Chanel just off the back of he's gone through a rough period just like all Warriors players. Some of these boys got to play international footy, and fuck, man, it come at the perfect time for guys like Jazzy and Chanel who got to go and play for SAR and
put a little confidence build against the Cookies.
Score a few tries. Even Chanel must have been kicking himself when Taylor May come and stole that try from him right at the end because he was fucking giving everything to get over for a rare piece of meat this year. But yeah, Tigers are, I don't know, man. They're a bit in limbo with all the shit that's happening off the field.
They're like Para without the talent, eh? You just don't know which one's going to rock up.
They've got Adam Dewey back this week as well. He's on the bench.
Yeah, Adam Dewey come off the bench from the week before against the Dogs as well. So you probably take him off an ACL. Generally, it takes about 3 or 4 weeks maybe before you see him back in the starting lineup.
Sometimes
but he could be rushed.
Yeah.
But he could be rushed just purely for the fact of what the Tigers have got.
If he's got 2 more years on his contract, I'd almost KD it.
Yeah, if you believe the reports, I think if he was fit and healthy and firing, Brooksy might have been the one that they were going to move away.
Yeah, there was talk about that before Origin, wasn't it?
Dewey and Hastings, so yeah.
That's a good little 7-6 combo.
Yeah.
Dewey's nice in the 6. I like him.
Yeah. Isaiah Papali'i and Coruscant next year. Like there's something there, but there's just not enough. They need more for sure.
You know, he's talking about teams and uniforms and stuff, and when they're losing, maybe it's just a uniform.
Change the jersey.
Yeah, it's the Bengals, right?
Bengals
it's the
effect,
Bengals.
yeah.
So there's a guy that I listened to, and he talked about the Bengals with the ugliest looking uniform, but then all of a sudden Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase come in and they're like, Bengals' uniform looks all right. Maybe it's just the players. This will be an occasion too this will be a good game for the Tigers to go back in such a historic game. Like this is going to go down as one of the great games of the NRL era because of what Warriors have done. They've got a packed crowd for a game 14th versus 15th that wouldn't have got probably 3,000 at Redcliffe.
Sunday 4 o'clocker.
So they'll be up for it as well, the Tigers, and it'll be a very emotional game and a lot of energy.
One thing about Warriors and emotional games, they don't work well together.
So someone said on the radio, I think I was listening to SEN, it wouldn't surprise me if Warriors go out and get beaten by 20 in this game. It's such a Warriors thing to do. I hope it doesn't happen.
I hope it's
I'm on the Warriors.
Go Ishte.
I'm going to back the Warriors. Fucking Shawnee's going to have the game of doom. Let's get the wing. Reece Walsh, unreal. Been trying his fucking ass off. Good to see him. He's embracing being back in New Zealand and with the boys. I think he'll have a big game as well. So.
Yeah, but a Mouldy and Reece too. So
fucking
get in
oath.
touch off the home roots. Hugh Porford's working the boys back on the stadium.
Indigenous to both Australia and New Zealand.
The drums are going to be coming now, bro. He'll fucking enjoy it. So he'll be on Sunday, and I think Ishte gets to go home and be a dad again, and that stuff matters to him. So hope he kills it.
Hope they come down the tunnel as well. That'd be a nice touch. Yeah.
Fuck, that tunnel's far, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's shocking to never come down.
It's further than you think.
Yeah.
Especially when you do a warm up at the back and you kick off that you're receiving down the other end. You knocked up 500 metres before.
It's half a K,
Joey Manu, 400 of the best before you even get out.
Yeah, Joey ran 400 before he ran 400 on the field.
In the last game of the round, Ice, we got the Dragons taking on the Canberra Raiders at Wynn Stadium. That is 8th playing 11th. Jackie Whiten is back off the COVID layoff as well. Last game of the round.
Chansey back on the bench as well.
Chance is back on the bench.
This will be a physical game, this one. This will be a bash fest. They're both sort of relatively conservative teams that want to go through. Yeah. It'd be I'd like to think it would be a low-scoring game. Very
unders,
physical.
The unders.
Yeah, I like the unders in this game. But I liked the unders in another game with the Dragons played, and they ended up being, I think, the Bulldogs game. They ended up scoring heaps of, shout out to Macca. 300 of the best, too. One of the greats.
Chainsaw. Why do they call him Chainsaw?
I don't know. It might be a fucking post-try celebration he did. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But, 300 of the best for Macca. That was cool, man. All the boys coming down from the Broncos for him, Jarrell and all that.
Yeah, they're boys.
Just before the game. I think probably not the most entertaining game, but...
This kind of, like those last games on Sunday always, even when it was Origin, bro, I was kind of like footed out and I was just going, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
I think Raiders in a close one. Jackie Whiten will have a big game and get his name called for Origin 3 off the back of a big performance. I think Ben Hunt is questionable as well.
Oh, yeah,
he had a bit of a knock.
About to say that
if he's out, Raiders.
He has been named, but Ben Hunt is questionable to play. Yeah,
the lead in Daily M.
Is he?
Yeah, he's leading the day.
Before
I went behind closed doors, and he had 3 points against Rabbitohs for sure.
Yeah.
Or someone got into me about the flick pass to Zachy Lomax as well too. I was like ripping him. Someone wrote something in the comments. The flick pass? Did you see the one to Ravalawa that Ravalawa scored? Fucking, that's typical Ravalawa. That's the worst one that he's given Ravalawa all year too, by the way. But Ravalawa goes, this little fucking left foot on Alex Johnson on the shortest of short sides. I don't know how he got through, but he ended up scoring in the corner. I'm like, fuck, that just sums up old Michaela for me. Fuck, he's a giggle to watch.
I'll go the Dragons. I like Lomax, Sully, and Ravalawa.
And they do play well at Win.
Yeah, they do. That's it, Isaac. That's all we got, bro.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you as always. Like, comment, and subscribe.
See you next week, baby.